I have notes for each act written up, and I tried to make sure to like call out what happened at the very end of each act in order to try to make sure that we like stay within the acts. I think.
Cool.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be terrible.
I should be watching these episodes like right beforehand, because like
I watched it today.
Yeah.
I usually am finishing it right as we're starting.
Yeah.
For my second watch through.
I was hoping to watch it today, but it didn't happen.
I normally do my first watch through on the Friday before, and then I do another watch the morning of. But I was working Friday, and I was beat when I got home because I had to go into work so we could clean up, and they had me get in my machine with a wet dry vac and vacuum out all the oil and grease out of the bottom of the trap.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It is. It was gross.
It sounds very dirty.
Yep. Oh, my legs were covered in grease, and my forearms. My hands weren't because I was wearing gloves.
Oh, okay, that's good. I guess.
It's just grease should not be on legs. That's like grease on arms, like cooking. I get it, but grease on legs just sounds like. Did you wear shorts, or did you have greasy pants?
I didn't wear long pants.
So you're wearing shorts.
Yeah.
So you just had greasy leg skin.
Yeah. I had to wash my legs with soapy water, and then
at work.
Yeah, like I had to try and get it off. And it didn't get all of it off, so my legs were like kind of greasy and gross all day.
Did you at least have like the really gritty soap for getting oil off?
Yes.
Gross.
But even that doesn't work.
I hate this.
Yeah.
I just no. It sounds bad. I don't like it.
Then I watched it last night, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep about 5 minutes before it ended, and I'm like, I don't think I saw the end of that episode. And then I watched it this morning, and I was like, I definitely didn't see the end of the episode last night.
It's an interesting one. Do we have an intro yet, Tyler?
Nope.
Okay. Because see, if we edit that together, then we can skip some of the awkwardness of the start of the episodes because we don't have to figure out how to explain what the podcast is
I
about.
like the awkwardness. Right. It's good.
Well,
it builds character.
Then welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. This is it. It's called Too Young for This Trek. We're in the podcast. That's Tyler over there. He hasn't seen Star Trek. I'm Troy. And there's Erik and MC are here, and they have, and I have. And Tyler hasn't, and we watch it. It's a podcast.
And today we're watching Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 6, Episode 7, Rascals.
Rascals!
And we're like really deep into this series. Like, how many seasons of TNG are there? 8-ish?
7.
7, okay.
7.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is getting up there. This no spoilers for how I feel about this episode, but this is widely regarded as the best season of Star Trek: The Next Generation, I believe. So, so we watched Rascals, but Tyler, what was this again?
Did you say words?
I said, which one was this again?
His translator's on the fritz.
This is the one where Picard and some people go down to like some planet for shore leave, and then they accidentally go through some kind of field that turns them into children, and then they get teleported back and they're children. And then they're like, what do we do? We're children. Oh, we get attacked by Firangi. That's what we do.
We get attacked by Firangi. That's what we do.
I mean, that's pretty much what happens.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the Firangi. All right. So what happens is, right at the start, Captain Picard and some folks, like Tyler said, they're coming back from vacation. They're trading vacation stories and showing off vacation photos and stuff. But then the Enterprise is like, hey, we got hailed. There's an emergency on this planet we got to go deal with. Get here quick. And they're like, will do, except for that energy field we're flying through. They turn into children. And then we'll just skip to Act 1 because Tyler pretty much already covered that. Everybody's like, I'm going to be a little kid. And they're trying to figure out how to deal with it. And Picard is like, I am not a little kid. How dare you say I'm a little kid? And then Crusher's like, hey, but you're a little kid. And so he's like, all right, Riker, you're in charge now. Meanwhile, Guinan just wants to party. She's like, I'm a little kid. This is going to be so much fun. Isn't it going to be fun, Ro? Oops, I said her name. I wasn't going to tell Tyler her name. Oh, well. Anyway, she's like, no, my childhood sucked. I was in work camps. Leave me alone. So that's a fun thing. And then Keiko tries to adjust to being a child bride.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Poor O'Brien, by the way. Like, I'm not sure how I would deal with that, but it would be weird, you know?
I think he dealt with it the best he could.
Yeah, no, totally. It's just, it was awkward, you know?
But yeah, so I'm curious why only those 4 people got shore leave.
I think Troy and I just had the same reaction.
I think everybody gets shore leave at some point.
Is it
and they
random?
just all happen to have it at the same time. Well,
like a lottery?
It's
like they just pair off certain people that haven't been on shore leave together before and see like how it goes, you know?
Well, I don't think
like
they did anything together. I think they all did separate things because Picard was in a cave looking at some old pots.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe multiple groups go out on multiple different ships. Like, what's the carrying capacity of one of the runabouts?
Well, let me tell you, they're not in Runabouts MC. They're in shuttle pods. We'll see Runabouts later.
Right.
And the carrying capacity is 2, because 2 of the folks in that shuttle pod were not in seats. They were just sitting on crates.
I didn't notice that.
Star Trek gets a lot of grief for not having seatbelts, but those 2 didn't even have chairs to sit in.
I did notice that when the pod was like breaking apart, they were all like moving back and forth, but they forgot to like shake the camera.
Oh, really?
So it looks like what MC was talking about with like the stabilized.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's just those 4. It's a weird pairing of 4. Well, actually, so this brings up an important question. Tyler, this is the first time you've met 3 of the 4 characters who are the focus of this episode. And you only get to see them as their actual actors for like one scene at the beginning and then some of them barely at the end.
Yep.
So what did you think about our new characters that you met this episode?
So let's see. We've got Kiko, right? Keiko?
Sure.
Kiko,
yep.
Keiko, something. Ro. I think we got like a second name in there at some point. I remember it looked like Lauren in the subtitles. Lauren.
Yep.
And I forgot what Whoopi Goldberg's character's name is, so I'm just going to call her Whoopi.
It's great.
Yeah, I don't like Keiko she seemed okay. I didn't really care for the other 2.
What was each of their jobs?
That's a good question.
I'm not even sure that. Can you just tell me if it's Kiko or Keiko so I could stop saying both?
Keiko.
I'm not even sure that she works on the ship. Like, she's married to O'Brien, so I didn't know if she's just along for the ride because they have family on the ship for some reason, which comes up later.
We have lost shields. Heavy casualties on decks 35 through 40.
Whoopi's character's name is Guinan, right? Something like that?
Yes.
And I have no clue what she does. She looks like some kind of space nun, maybe. Maybe that's just because I'm thinking of the Sister Act. I don't know. And yeah, I have no clue what Ro does. I don't think it was mentioned.
Fair enough.
So I was really excited to see Whoopi Goldberg in this episode, but she's technically barely in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought her child actor was the best.
Yeah, no, she was good.
Out of the child actors, she seemed like the one she seemed the most like Whoopi.
Yeah.
I thought Picard's child actor was weird. Like, he does not seem like a young Picard to me.
No.
I don't know. He tried. He almost got that accent down.
He says his name wrong, I think. Unless I say Picard wrong. Is it Picard? Because he says Picard.
He does say Picard.
It's Picard, right?
I think it's supposed to be Picard.
I assure you I am Captain Picard.
Oh,
we lost Troy. I saw so Troy was like standing there like this, and then all of a sudden he had a cup in his hand. It just like teleported to his hand. So that was weird. So Do you want to wait for Troy to see if he comes back, or you want to keep going without Troy?
Oh, it's up to you guys.
He sent his notes in, though, if someone wants to do the Troy job.
I guess we can take turns.
Okay. You want to do Act 2, Eric?
Sure.
We have more to talk about Act 1 still, but if you just want to pull that up.
Yeah, just let me know when to jump into it, I guess.
Okay.
Wow, that's a lot.
They teleport onto the ship, and I thought it was weird that their clothes seemed to change size along with them.
Yeah, that is weird.
But they were still too big. It's like they wanted to give the appearance that their clothes didn't change, but they obviously did, because like some of those people are way small, those kids. Also, I thought it was funny that O'Brien says, like, I might have lost one because they dropped 40% in mass. Like, he's just calling out one of them for being real heavy.
Yeah.
Because there's 4 of them. And you divide that, that's too much for one person.
Yeah, it does seem like a bit much for one person. It's like 40%. That might be at least 2 of them.
Yeah, we lost
depending
one
on how big
and
one
some
person
legs.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah. What else happens? I know, like, Picard's like trying to still act like he's in charge, and everyone's clearly uncomfortable with it. Especially Riker. He just keeps giving him looks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird in... Well, wait 1 second.
Is that Act 2?
That might be Act 2.
We suck
Not
at
based
this.
on Troy's summary.
Not
At
based
least
on
what he
Troy's
said for
summary?
the first part.
Oh, okay. So essentially, the kids
I see.
sent to the medical bay, and everyone's like trying to deal with it, and the captain's just like, okay, like Picard's like, I'm going back to work. You 3 stay here so Crusher can check up on you and do all the tests and whatnot.
Yeah. Picard seems like unfazed. Rose not amused. Keiko's just trying not to panic. And Guinan's like super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume she's like much older than she looks.
Yeah, she's at least a few hundred years old.
Okay.
Is that right? Troy might know the answer to this, I feel like.
I do.
Oh.
Her dad's 700.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at these fragments. They're very nearly in perfect condition, and yet they're 700 years old.
So's my father.
She's about 300 and something years old, I believe, at this point.
She has to be at least that old.
Yeah.
Because that one episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's definitely over 300 years old. It comes up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it comes up in Generations as well.
Yeah.
But, Rose all grumpy and Guinan's trying to cheer her up because they're kids again. And she's like, let's go play.
Makes sense.
And
I mean, with how old she is, she hasn't been a kid in forever, so, And really, who wouldn't take the opportunity to, not be an adult, I guess they don't really have bills and taxes to worry about, but still, it's stressful.
But there's still responsibility as an adult that you don't have when you're a kid.
That's true.
And at the same time, John Luke is like going back up to the bridge with Riker.
Yeah. Riker's just like looking at him like, this is weird.
Yeah, and Picard looks up at Riker and it's like, you can, it's like this discomfort that you see Picard might have with the height difference and his age.
Yeah.
I love Worf's reaction. He's not convinced that that's Picard. He's like, I don't trust this. Worf always has the best reactions. I love Worf.
Yeah.
He's always so serious about everything. And he's always like, raise shields. I was surprised he didn't say raise shields when, Kid Picard walked onto the bridge.
Oh, this episode made me think, back when we were watching Star Trek Picard, we did that poll where we had 4 Picards.
Yeah.
Why wasn't Kid Picard an option?
We didn't want to ruin it.
Yeah. Well, Tom Hardy Picard was kind of Kid Picard, just evil.
Yeah.
Picard kid with hair, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of inconsistency with that because I think in Nemesis we see a photo of him and he doesn't have hair, but then there's a flashback in another episode that we'll get to that's on the list with Q where it flashes back to him at the academy. He has a full head of hair. So I don't know what that's all about. It's like
he was trying to pull off a toupee or something.
Maybe. There's a story about that. When Patrick Stewart was first, what's the word? When he was first auditioning for the role, he actually wore a toupee, which is just, hard to imagine Picard with a toupee, you know?
Yeah.
But it's really funny because halfway through the audition, apparently he yanks the toupee off.
That's what I heard.
And yeah, and it was like it's supposed to be real dramatic, but it was just silly.
Like that was like part of the role he was trying to audition with. Was being dramatic about pulling the hair off, or
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird. So yeah, then Dr. Crusher is like basically convinces him to like give up being captain to Riker for the moment.
This is definitely Act 2.
No. No, because Act 1 ends with
I'm trying to read the
Act
thing.
2 is Troy.
Oh yeah.
That Troy
hasn't showed up yet. Okay. So I think by far the most interesting part of Act 1 is the O'Brien and Keiko stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's real weird.
I was watching it and I was telling Meg, like, I don't know if he's had the kid at this point. And then you hear the baby crying. It's like, oh, crap. That adds a whole other layer to this.
Yeah.
That baby saying mommy, I don't think that was the child actor. I think they just wanted to add that later because it sounded so weird.
Yeah. I was like, that's the worst dubbing ever.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Well, before that scene, Picard hands over control of the ship to Riker first. And then there's like a small scene of Ro and Guinan walking through the hall somewhere on the ship. And she's just like, I'm going to go have fun. You coming? And then it's like the family scene. It's like, we get like, it's like less than 5 minutes. And it's just like jumping between all these adults as kids in these wildly different like situations and reactions that these people are having to this whole situation.
Yeah.
Like, O'Brien is so weirded out.
I mean, wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Yeah, the line where he says, of course you're still my wife, but you're also 10 years old. It's so awkward.
And Keiko's like, actually, Beverly said it was closer to 12.
And he's like...
Or did she actually say Crusher?
I can't remember.
She said Beverly. Yeah. She's like, yeah, Beverly said it's actually closer to 12.
And he's like,
and
that's
it's legal in Alabama.
Of course you're my wife. But you're also 10 years old.
Yeah, and then her kid's like, and they go in there and she wants her to read her story, but she doesn't recognize her.
Yeah.
And O'Brien's like, Daddy will read you a story.
Yep.
Yeah, so what would you do if your fiance turned into a 12-year-old? Erik?
I don't know how to answer that. Like, I mean, hopefully this would be a temporary thing, I guess. Yeah.
So essentially O'Brien's reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really related to that, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, oh, mentally you're still the same, but physically I can't get past the 10-year-old part.
Yeah.
Which is probably good.
Yeah.
Good instincts.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if he wasn't weirded out by it. He was just like...
just rolling.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's time for Act 2.
All right.
Okay.
So Picard starts to accept that this might... I can't read this. Hang on.
Maybe.
Hang on. My, it came through really blurry on my end. what Troy wrote? Because it's an image.
I can read it. It's like really clear. Did you open it up in a separate tab?
Hang on. Yeah, I tried opening it. Oh,
yeah,
wait.
if you hit open original, it's readable.
Okay, let me get 1 second. I hope you edit all this out. Open original. There it is.
Leaving it all in.
There it is. Okay, now I can read it. Because I downloaded it, I was like, wait a second, I can't read this. All right. Picard starts to accept that this might stick during a conversation with Troy and decides he might go study archaeology until he grows up again. Guinan eventually convinces Rao to have fine by getting... Wait.
It does say have fun.
Sorry.
I typed this very fast on a very small keyboard and there was autocorrect happening.
What are you trying to say there?
Have fun?
I don't know. Where are we?
Oh, have fun by getting her to jump on the bed. Meanwhile, the adult part of the crew, science is the science, but gets interrupted when they arrive at the planetary distress call and meet 2 Klingon birds of prey. Whew, yeah, that's a lot that happens in Act 2. Science.
I feel like this is some of the best technobabble we've had so far on Too Young for This Trek, because they're just spitting out all kinds of science terms and everyone's like, yep, that makes total sense. And then they're like, but if only we had this other science term. And they're like, yep, if only we did. And you just, whatever.
You just got to roll with it. I mean, none of it makes any sense. Like, they never really explained it.
The best science technobabble is Riker at the end of this episode when he's explaining to the Ferengi how the computer works.
That was amazing.
And it's fake technobabble about fake technobabble. It's just great.
It's pretty meta. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so back to Act 2. That's where we're at, Troy.
I know, I figured it out.
Picard running his fingers through his hair.
Yeah.
Oh, he misses it so much. It'll all be gone by the time he gets to the Academy. Spoilers.
Yeah, we were talking about that not too long ago. There's a lot of inconsistency with Picard's hair in flashbacks, I guess.
Picard either had a full head of hair until the day he took command of the Enterprise, or he was born bald. One of the two.
Well,
Schrodinger's
lots of people are born bald.
Picard hair. That doesn't make sense. Never mind.
Do y'all know that when they had Patrick Stewart come in to audition for the role of Jean-Luc Picard,
we brought this up.
We actually brought this up.
I'm out. I'm leaving.
This is what happens when you have technical difficulties.
You know, the great part about me missing part of every episode, either due to technical or child difficulties,
it's all good,
is that I get to go back to the episodes later and listen to them, and I'm like, I don't remember this conversation. I wonder what interesting thing I'll have to say about it. And then I don't say anything, and I go, oh, I wasn't there. That's why I don't remember this conversation.
Yeah.
Listeners at home, I recommend you try it. Just randomly at some point during this episode, take your headphones off for like a minute, because then you can listen to the episode again, and there'll be new content in it.
Well, on the last episode, I was here for it. I also edited it. And there's like a minute where I don't know what was happening because you're like, take your headphones off. And then I'm like, I guess, okay.
I don't even remember what we talked about, but I do. Wait, Tyler, take your headphones off for a second.
Yeah.
Is this where we talked about Beverly Crusher having sex with a candle?
Yes. On the Irish planet.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, you're good.
And I'm back. Don't
listen to that when you edit it, Tyler.
Luckily, it's easy to see because I don't talk during it.
Because the rest of the time you talk constantly?
So
anyway,
in this act... sorry.
Well, I was going to ask y'all, if you turned into a little kid again, what would you do in Picard's situation where they're like, hey, like, Troy's like, you're a little kid. You can't just be a captain. Go do something. What would you do?
Honestly,
apparently he's going to be a kid archaeologist, which I thought only young Indiana Jones could do, but apparently Picard can do it as well.
Well, I think they're comfortable with him being, child prodigy, just not being in command of the ship.
Yeah.
Seems unfair.
It's ageist.
A little bit.
I mean, because he's mentally the same, right? He is Picard. He's just stuck in a younger body, which I mean, okay, so if I was in that situation, I would just be like, all right, I get to do it over again, basically,
So you'd have the Guinan view of like,
yeah,
sweet, let's jump on some beds.
Maybe a couple more decades of life, like why is this a bad thing, It'd be slightly
Does this
inconvenient.
take care of your bills when you get turned into a kid?
Wait, what?
Or do I still have to find a way to pay those?
What was that?
Does this take care of your bills when you get turned into a kid, or do you still have to find a way to pay those just as a kid?
Well, let's assume you live in a post-scarcity future where there is no goddamn economy for the Federation to deal with.
Okay. I mean, yeah, the space archaeology sounds cool.
Yeah, I would totally get another degree.
Video games.
Oh, yeah.
Just so much video games.
MC's just going to play Minecraft.
That's what he does already.
Yep, pretty
You'll
much.
be 12 MC, so you won't be able to troubleshoot when your mods don't work correctly, because you'll be like, I don't understand.
No, I don't have to do that at the moment.
What about you, Tyler? What would you do?
I said space archaeology.
That is your answer. Okay.
Yep, that sounds fun.
And Troy?
I would rollerblade more.
Yeah?
I loved rollerblading as a kid, and I probably have not put rollerblades on in like 2 years. I'm just afraid like every bone in my body would break instantly if I put rollerblades on now.
Yeah.
So I'd go rollerblade a lot. Which I guess puts me into the Guinan camp.
You guys probably just saw me stand up for a second. I just want to explain what happened. My chair tried to escape.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
You gotta wrangle those things.
So I sit on a large exercise ball. And it just started slipping out. So I had to stand up to grab it.
So, we were asking, when you were gone, Troy, we were asking, what would you do if you were in O'Brien's situation?
With a child bride?
MC's just bouncing now.
MC's already reliving his childhood.
I think that the gist of O'Brien's response...
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, hang on. I just got sent a video of my baby. I gotta watch it. I think that video was code for Troy, you might need to stop podcasting because he's apparently not happy. Anyway, I think the gist of like O'Brien's problem was that he didn't talk about it at first. And then at the end of the scene, they like came to an understanding of like, hey, this is buck wild, but we're going to figure it out together. But at first they were like trying to pretend everything was normal when clearly it's not. And like maybe Keiko doesn't see that it's not normal because she literally doesn't see herself. But O'Brien should have been like, time out real quick as you start trying to snuggle with me. This is a bit strange. It's just a bit strange. Hey, Tyler, take your headphones off. It's
you guys
also
are talking about
reminiscent.
child porn, aren't you?
Oh god.
It's also reminiscent of that time that like a crazy evil space ghost takes over Keiko's body and is like, hey, O'Brien, you're going to have sex with me now. And he's like, no, you're a crazy evil space ghost. I don't want to have sex with you. And it's like, but I'm your wife. And he's like, no, you're not. Anyway, it reminded me of that.
That was DS9, right? Yeah.
We'll get to it. I think it's on the list.
Should be on the list. All right.
Probably. If not, we'll have to put it on there. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, Tyler.
You didn't miss anything.
Thanks for having me.
Editing this is going to be a bitch. I'm sorry.
I think it's funny that Atticus found his way to make it onto the episode.
He's the fifth podcaster.
Yep.
Fifth co-host.
We're going to have to start putting him in the credits. We need to make him a Twitter.
Yeah.
What else happened in this act?
Bouncing on a bed.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Did you guys ever bounce on beds as a kid? I don't think I ever bounced on a bed.
I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
Childhood was so long
I was
ago.
a dumb child.
I didn't.
I did things like I would jump on the couch and be like, "Look, Mom, I can jump on the couch. Isn't this cool?" And she'd be like, "That's unsafe." And I'd be like, "No, it's fine." And then I'd fall off and cut my head open and have to go get stitches.
I had a similar experience. I used to jump on the couch, I guess. Not the bed, but the couch. I used to try to jump over it with like fake toys, like fake guns and swords and stuff.
One time I put myself in a box at the top of the stairs and then
I did the same thing
down, or the box down the stairs. And my mom was in the living room and my dad was in the living room and they just heard thunk, 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 and then a big thunk, and then they heard me go, "I'm okay."
Did you break anything when you went down?
No, that one was fine.
Because I broke something
one time.
I did the same thing.
One time I was riding a bicycle and I was like, "Hey, I saw this thing on Bill Nye where he said if you wiggle your handlebars really fast like this," and then I wiggled my handlebars really fast, and then I ate shit, because that was the end of the sentence, was that if you wiggle your handlebars real fast, you will eat shit. But I demonstrated it and ate shit, and then had, like, again, blood all over, and had to go in, like, pounding on the door, like, "Mom!" And she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "I fell." And she's like, "How?" And I was like, "Demonstrating falling."
That is some relatable content.
I was a dumb kid.
I didn't jump on my bed like a trampoline. I would jump on my bed as in running to your bed and jumping onto it. Mm-hmm. And I used to have slats. I broke so many slats doing that.
I bet.
As for doing stupid shit as a kid, I grew up in a sort of rural area on an army base for a while. And there was swings essentially set up in trees.
Just like hanging off the branches?
Just ropes hanging off branches. One time I took one of the ropes and swung from one tree and jumped into another.
Oh, man.
Like Tarzan?
Yeah, exactly like Tarzan.
Or George of the Jungle. That's the one I was thinking of.
No.
See, that's the trees.
Well, since I was able to grab onto the other branch and pull myself up and not slam into the trunk of the tree, I'm calling it Tarzan, not George
That's
of
the difference right there.
So this is the act where Klingons show up, or what we think are Klingons, right?
Well, I mean, there is that small scene with Geordi and O'Brien with the science. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the science. Check out this science. Ah, science.
And he just crumbles the metal in his hand. And it's like, see, look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was that metal? It was tritanium, which is I was excited to see because it's in the game that we've been playing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys in this goddamn game.
Also,
I tried to play it. It was just like, tap on this thing, tap on this thing, tap on this thing, tap on this thing.
All
And it was like, hey, you need to build a cybernetics slab. And I was like, all right. And then it was like, good job building a cybernetics slab. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. What happened?
So
it's a lot of tapping and waiting.
There's another Star Trek mobile game that's actually kind of cool. And it's more like an RPG, I want to say, because it's all about like your crew and stuff and who you send to the planet. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't played it in like a year, but I might check that out again after playing this one.
We can't get... Okay, I'm sorry. Nope, I'm not... Nope, we're not here to talk about Star Trek video games.
Sorry.
That'll save it for the Patreon. Because otherwise I'm going to spend way too long talking about Star Trek video games.
So, about that Geordi O'Brien scene where they're like looking at the broken pod ship thing, I just wanted to say that that's basically my job. Except for not space things.
Yeah, it would be,
That's cool.
Yeah, and also Geordi has like... We would have to send things off to a lab, but he's
He's got it right there.
I see this. Yep.
Yeah. I did like that scene. I thought that was really cool. As far as the techno-babbly stuff, that was great. That seemed legit to me.
And some of it was actual things, because he's like, there's some micro cracks, and like, yep, that's a thing. They're just small cracks.
That was cool. They figured out because like the tritanium was crumbling and all that.
Yeah.
Tyler, I really appreciate you explaining the term micro cracks for us.
Just a tiny crack.
In case we had trouble parsing out what a micro crack would be.
Well, actually, It's between the grains. It's like real small. It's like between the grains of the material. Which actually doesn't make sense now that I think about it, because he said it got turned back into the elements instead of being the like tritanium.
Yeah.
So
which would mean that it wouldn't. Yeah.
I don't know.
Now I know
it seems like it should have just dissolved at that point.
I don't know.
I know tritanium isn't a real metal, but do you think that's something that
Yet,
yeah. Just like transparent aluminum. But do you think that's something that's possible, like as an engineer?
I don't know what it's supposed to be. So
it's like titanium, but times 3.
More lightweight and stronger. I don't know.
I don't know. 3 times the strength, 3 times the lightweight.
Probably,
maybe.
That's what the ships are made out of. I think.
Just if you take 3 titaniums and you smush them together, then you get 1 titanium.
I think that's possible.
Well, maybe on a molecular scale. I don't know.
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
They have to occupy the same. Each piece of titanium.
If it has more dense
the space
mass,
by
it'd be heavier.
Titanium. Right? The science doesn't work. That's why I just put science to science in the notes. I tried to make it easy for my brain.
It's a titanium gold alloy, which is Iron Man's suit.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Act 3, Erik and/or Troy and/or MC or me.
I mean, first we got to get to the Klingon birds of prey decloaking and attacking the ship.
Okay, so MC, you've seen this before. Did you remember? I guess we all knew it was Firangi because we saw.
I actually forgot.
But my question. So for those of you who forgot, were you like, hell yeah, Klingons, or what? What was your reaction?
I was like, why are Klingons attacking? There usually has to be a reason. Like, they're not at war with the Klingon Empire right now. What is this about? I had a very visceral reaction, and then it was like, oh yeah, Firangi are in this episode, of course. They commandeered it.
Yeah. Sort of the same, except for without all the knowing that they're not at war.
Oh, is that a spoiler? That might be a spoiler.
I mean,
no.
Oh, yeah, that's a spoiler.
Klingons are always adversaries. They're not always enemies, I think is how I would put it. I guess.
It's kind of like the US and Russia today. Would that track? Maybe not today, maybe in the 90s.
So you're saying
when things were more amicable, I guess.
In order to get the Russians respect, we attack first.
Yeah, I guess.
I know that reference.
No, you're talking about Discovery Klingons, which is very different
That's
from
a whole
Next Gen
100-something
Klingons,
years.
which is different from original series Klingons, which is different from Enterprise Klingons. You're going to meet a lot of different kind of Klingons as we go on this adventure, Tyler.
We'll have a deeper conversation about this
Act 3.
later, once you watch more Klingon episodes. Act 3.
Act 3. Oh man, here come the Klingons, except they're Firangi instead of Klingons. And they gather up all the children and put them in schoolrooms, including the adults that look like children. And they transport all the other adults to the planet except for Riker and maybe some other people, but mostly Riker, who they keep on board in order to explain their evil plot, which is that they are using the people who are on the planet and now the Enterprise crew as slave labor in the mines.
So, real quick. Zoom hasn't cut us off, which is weird.
Oh.
So I'm kind of concerned Zoom is not recording.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Well, the cutoff is based on number of people in the room, not recording. So
we're all recording individually.
It probably just popped up the thing that said, like, hey, we know there's a global pandemic going on. Have this one on us. And you just didn't see it. That's my bet. My mom got that pop up during her weekly happy hour, and they got a free one. And then at the end of the meeting, it was like, hey, I bet that was real nice that you didn't have to, like, in the middle of your happy hour, try and have to figure out how to set up another Zoom meeting again. If you want to schedule your next happy hour right now, we'll do the same thing for your next one. And she was like, yeah, I want to do that. Yes, please, Zoom. So she got a couple free Zoom extensions.
That's pretty awesome.
So I bet that's what it did for us. And I bet at the end of this, it's going to say the same thing and we can schedule next week's.
Nice.
Let's hope.
Because Zoom thinks we're using this for work during the coronavirus. It thinks we're working right now.
Either that's going to happen, or I'm going to be like, how do these parts fit together when trying to reconstruct the audio?
That's possible.
Well, once we get the Patreon up and running, we can call this work.
Yeah, at the moment, it's still probably work.
Nice. I see what you did there. Yeah.
you a fan of high fantasy epic book series that are converted into television series? No, not that one. I mean an epic book series that is actually complete. I'm referring to The Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan's fantasy masterpiece that was completed posthumously by Brandon Sanderson. Well, I have the perfect podcast for you. The Taverin is a Wheel of Time podcast where three gentlemen go through the series one chapter at a time, in their own special way. Follow along as Bill, Rob, and Rich re-experience this great epic. Experience for yourself a world full of vibrant locations, colorful characters, and storylines that will never fail to surprise. Visit a world that Game of Thrones can only wish was as fleshed out and complete. The Taverin, a Wheel of Time podcast, is part of the We Can Make This Work Probably network of podcasts. Find our podcast wherever you get your podcast feed, or visit probablywork.com for episodes of this podcast and other great shows. We will see you at the Wine Spring Inn.
All right, I got the axe up on my screen so I don't get off track again.
I mean, here's the thing about Act 3. Nothing happens. I feel like this often happens in Star Trek. It's the reveal. It's between the middle commercial breaks, and it's just like, anyway, here's what the rest of the episode's going to be. And so it's just like, if you wanted to be critical, you could say that this could have happened in the teaser. Mm-hmm. Like, you could have jumped straight to this.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
Yeah.
It's like the teaser again.
The only thing that sort of happens in this sort of section is the adult kids start making plans to take the ship back and how they're going to go about it.
The adult kids and one actual kid.
Oh, yeah. Did you make note of the actual kid?
Yes. His name's Alexander, and he's a Klingon. And I'm like, is that Worf's kid, or are there other Klingons on here?
Questions will be answered someday.
But yeah, like, they have no problem putting him in danger.
That comes in Act 4. Alexander gets up to some shit.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a sturdy little Klingon kid. He wants to get into trouble.
I'm just going to go to Act 4 because nothing of interest in Act 3 happens that we can't discuss better in Act 4, which is...
I mean, maniacal Firangi happening. He just gloats a whole bunch and tells everyone what's going on.
A whole lot of bragging. Yeah. Damn capitalists engaging in slave labor and stealing property and... Yeah. He's terrible.
For an investment of 2 surplus Klingon ships, a few repairs, and some weapons, we've netted a Federation starship and her crew, not to mention a planet rich in Vendorite.
So that's what this is all about.
Picard and the other kids enact a plan full of shenanigans. They sneak around the ship to gather up phasers and hyposprays with the help of a Klingon child, and then Picard throws a fit so he can get taken to the bridge to see his father.
That was amazing.
Picard's
that whole
freak
scene.
out.
What do you want?
I need to see my father.
Go back inside.
I need to see him right now.
Do not argue with me. Go back inside.
I need to see him now. Now. Stop it, you hurt me. I want my father.
All right, just stop that.
Yeah. Well, the way that Riker like improvised and reacted to it.
His face the whole time is hilarious.
I think that Riker does a great job with it. Mm-hmm. I think that the kid who plays Picard never, ever, ever feels like Picard to me. And so it makes that like less impactful. Yeah. If he felt like Picard, because like the setup is they do all their sneaking stuff, like their Metal Gear Solid, sneaking through the ducts with cardboard boxes on their heads in order to steal stuff things. And that's great. And then he's like, now I just need to get to the bridge. And they're like, how are you going to do it? And he's like, I can only think of one way. And you're like, this would be cool if you sounded or acted anything like Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah. Because then, like, what's the one way going to be? And the one way is, like, the least Picard thing I've ever seen. But since the kid didn't feel like Picard, it just was like,
Well, why did they think that would work? Why did it work?
Why did it work? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because the damn Firangi are morons.
Yeah.
Also, the first thing he does when he sees Riker is hug him, and we all know Picard's not a hugger. So, like, there was like a whole plot line in Star Trek Picard about him hugging someone.
Yeah, there was.
Do you think that Riker gets in trouble for hugging like his subordinates? Because I feel like he would be a hug everybody type person.
Oh, him and Troy are hug people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So much.
It's worth pointing out that Picard loves to act, but he's not very good at it. So maybe that kind of,
That's
you know,
true.
like he really throws himself into a role, but he's not great at it, you know?
Also, as seen in Picard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to explain because that one I feel like is actually a spoiler for Picard.
Yeah.
But
So you're saying this kid isn't a bad actor. He's playing Picard so well.
God.
Also, we should point out that this kid's like 40 or 50 now.
That's my headcanon now, man. I think that works.
Tyler, take your headphones off. You guys, isn't this the same actor who plays Picard's nephew in Family? I think it is.
It might be. He has a similar voice, similar accent.
I believe it is. I'm going to look it up real quick while Tyler sits there frustrated at us because we're not letting him listen to his own podcast.
He reminded me more of the kid from Generations than he reminded me of Picard, but that's definitely not the same.
Well, the kid doesn't show up in Generations. No, the kid only shows up in Family.
Kid.
And then
it's a fictional
he's not
kid.
In it.
There's a fictional kid in
Generations.
He has
at the very end
in the Nexus.
Yeah. Well, he also finds out that his nephew died in Generations, which is what I was thinking of. But they don't show it. They just mention it.
Yeah.
So this is the same actor.
Tyler.
So Family came out before this, and he played Picard's nephew, and then now he's playing Picard. So that's interesting. They must really think this kid is very similar to Patrick Stewart, but I don't see it at all.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I think we can bring him back.
I'm glad all three of you did it because I'm just like looking like
waiting for
each
the signal.
Our listeners are going to love all these little tidbits, Tyler. They're going to find it really nice. Unless somebody's listening who hasn't seen all of Star Trek, in which case they're going to be so mad because we're supposed to be spoiler-free except for... Okay, going forward, listener, if you haven't seen all of Star Trek, when we tell Tyler to take his headphones off, you also need to take your headphones off. But don't worry, listener, you can put them back on as soon as you see us making a hand motion where we put our hands up to our ears. So as soon as you see us doing that, you can put your headphones back on.
I think when we did Picard, we said spoilers for all of Star Trek. So
yeah,
that's true. But this
is technically
should, for the most part, be spoilers for that episode, basically. Because we're not spoiling things for Tyler, so... Yeah, anyway. What happens next? I don't remember where we're at.
I had a random question about Firangi, just in general.
Oh, sure.
They have this green bit on the back of their head, and I can't tell if it's part of their head or clothing. Because it's also, they have that same exact green pattern on their clothes.
Yeah. What clothes?
It's clothing.
It's clothing.
Oh.
Why?
I was going to try and suggest they were all naked.
Well, like, what are they covering up on the back of their head?
Oh, God. You'll see the back of a Ferengi's head someday.
Butts.
That's their butt?
So many butts.
I know
what
they
are you
have
covering up on your
orgasms,
backside, Tyler?
But yeah, where we're at in the show is in Act 4, Riker's trying to get access to the computer so he can unlock the computer for Classroom 8.
Yeah. Picard gets taken to the bridge. Memory Alpha calls this Act 5, but yeah, basically he's like, hey, I need access to the computer. This is how we're going to win the day. And this is where Riker does some acting, because Riker doesn't love to act, but is a great actor. He's so good.
Yeah. His facial expressions, though, make him look confused while he's acting. He's like, yes, son, I will do this for you.
The best part is that he goes, thanks, number one. Thanks, number one.
He's
and
my number one
dad.
dad.
He's my number one dad.
Yeah.
I know the Firangi made Daddy turn off the main computer.
Well, can't you just turn on the kids' computer in schoolroom 8? You just want to play a few games.
I don't know if they'll let me, Jean-Luc, but I will ask.
Thanks, number one. He's my number one dad.
Well, I was talking about Riker's acting in the next part, which I think is what MC was talking about, where
at the computer,
in order to he can't just unlock the computer access because then the Ferengi will know what's up, so he has to be sneaky about it. And the way he does it is by teaching the Ferengi how the ship works with all this made up nonsense technobabble.
Yeah.
And while he's doing it, he's typing away on the other keyboard without even looking at it to unlock the access.
Okay, Morta. The Enterprise computer system is controlled by 3 primary main processor cores, cross-linked with redundant Meliquartz Ramostat 14 kiloquad interface modules. The core element is based on an FTL nanoprocessor with 25 bilateral calolaterals, with 20 of those being slaved into the primary Heisenfram terminal. Now, you do know what a bilateral calolateral is.
Well, of course I do, human. I am not stupid.
No, of course not.
It was smooth.
It was super
Riker's
smooth.
a badass.
So good.
He's definitely this episode's MVP.
Yeah,
well,
I was debating.
I think it's
Alexander's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like some Home Alone level tactics right there.
Exactly. Because they have the remote
They
control
used
car.
an RC car.
Yeah.
They literally have a remote control car that they use.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So there was something funny earlier when the Ferengi first board. Worf has his phaser out and he gets shot in the chest, and then Riker jumps to the ground, and it looks like he's trying to dodge something, but they didn't put anything in, so it just looks like he's jumping to the ground, but not. I don't know. It definitely looks like he's trying to dodge something that's not there.
Worf is the worst
Klingon?
at security. He's so bad at security. The Ferengis transport in, and it takes a full 3 seconds for their transporter to work. So you can see the shimmer, 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 and Worf has his phaser out, pointed at the spot where the Ferengi is, and he misses.
Yeah.
He's the worst. God damn it,
Until we
Worf.
get to DS9, then he's like, okay.
I'm not saying that Worf is a bad
Spoilers.
character.
Yeah,
I'm saying that he is the worst at security. Also, yes, spoilers. Jeez.
I wasn't going to mention this, but I accidentally read spoilers the other day.
Tyler,
and found out that
how could you
were wrong about, I forgot her name. The actress you said who was in the most episodes of Star Trek ever. Because it's actually the actor who plays Worf who's in the most episodes of Star Trek.
That would be true.
Okay, yeah,
You're right.
you're right. She's close though, right? She's second, right?
No.
Well,
do you want to say?
Actually, she's probably nowhere near.
Well,
should we give up that game and tell him who she is?
Okay, yeah. I'll let you do it.
The reason let me check if she is in this one.
I don't think she is.
She is in this.
She
one.
is.
Did you notice her? She is in this one. All right, so let's talk about Majel Barry and Roddenberry and why why she is in a lot of Star Trek and you would not notice her. It's because she's a computer.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
She's the voice of the computer.
I've been trying not to say it for the past few
anytime the
episodes.
computer talks back to them, that's Majel Barrett Roddenberry.
Yep.
That is
nice.
Gene Roddenberry's wife. Up to and including, I think, the first of the J.J. Abrams movies, her voice is in.
Yeah.
And rumor has it that she went in and recorded the phonetic alphabet before she passed away so that her voice could be used in future productions. But I don't think they have used it up to this point.
Yeah.
I think since she passed.
I don't think she's in Discovery or Picard, right?
I don't think so. Yeah.
She's basically Siri for all of TNG, DS9, and Voyager, I want to say. I think she's
pretty much any time the computer talks back, it's her voice.
Yeah, so thought that was kind of cool.
Well, there's that one out of the bag. That's one less question we have to ask you. Now, did you see a Tribble in this episode?
She plays another character, though, that'll come up So
that's true. We're not up to triples. What am I doing? We've got to talk about how they win the day. They win the day. Anyway, end of show. No, they transport them all. Like, that was, I guess, the big plan. Because they
I thought that was
clever access.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, because the transporters have the ability to disable phasers and stuff.
Well, just the fact that they were able to corral them into that force field, I thought was great.
Yeah.
Well, and the way they do it is fun, too, because, like, Ro and Guinan run up behind some of them and slap comm badges on their back and are like, tag, you're it, so that the comm badges can lock onto them. And Alexander tricks one of them by being like, I found this shiny thing. Do you want it, you money-grubbing Firangi? And he's like, of course I do. I'm a Firangi. And then it transports him away.
And then Keiko just, like, injects one with something.
Keiko does inject one to death. I'm pretty sure that one's dead. So Keiko is...
I counted. He's not in the transporter. Like, they didn't transport him after.
Yeah.
They probably just, like, dropped him out in space somewhere.
Was there a kid that was running the teleporter? The transporter?
No. Keiko injects him, snaps his neck, drags him to a port outside, just throws him out, ejects him out into space. Just, she's ruthless like that.
Yeah. She wasn't an adult at the time, so she can't be tried, right?
No.
That's in Federation.
I'm pretty sure
law,
kids could be tried for murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they all become grown-ups again, except for Ensign Ro, because she's like, hey, Guinan, you were right. My childhood was terrible because I lived in, like, work camps, and God, I just want to be a kid for a while longer. And Guinan's like, well, then be a kid for a while longer. And then Ensign Ro stays a kid for the rest of the series.
Does she? As far as I know. She just likes drawing pictures of her mom that she could totally still do if she was an adult.
No, you can only draw pictures if you're a kid.
Yeah, she would look dumb being an adult with crayons.
Yeah,
You're right.
What kind of adult does art? Does he sit there and draw dumb pictures all day? But Jesus, man, I can't understand.
They don't bring up what race she is.
Tyler has no idea anything about Ensign Ro's background, and we're not going to tell him yet.
Yeah, that's
I do know that she didn't have a bed for most of her childhood, because when Whoopi, I forgot the character's name again, when Whoopi's like, I bet you used to jump on beds, she's like, I didn't even have a bed.
It's like, what part of internment camp don't you understand?
Yeah. Was she... I wonder if, like, Tasha Yar was on the same planet. No, never mind. That's a whole thing. Never mind.
No, those were rape camps.
Yeah.
Rape gangs, excuse me.
Rape gangs, my
not
bad.
Rape camps. It's not institutionalized. They're roving.
I feel like everyone that was on the first episode I saw, except for, let's see, Worf, Picard, Riker, Troy. Okay, there's a lot of people.
There's a lot.
Data. I don't know. I felt like everyone that was on, there was a lot of people missing from this episode that was on that first one, but it's been 5 seasons, so I guess they come and go. Like, Wesley's gone, apparently. I guess he's at the academy.
Oh yeah, there's a reference to
Picard's
like, what am I gonna be a roommate with Wesley?
Yeah,
which I would watch. That'd be funny.
That would be great.
There
should be a sitcom.
It's just this young old kid, like,
do you
getting
know
annoyed.
they're working on that show? It's not Picard and Wesley, but that's one of those shows that's in production. Is Starfleet Academy?
Oh,
it's going to be an animated, like CW style drama.
I'll believe it when it happens.
No, wait, that one's not animated. I'm sorry, that one's a live action one they're working on.
I'll believe it when it happens.
Because they described it as being like a CW style drama, which I'm like, so we're going to see a lot of pretty people hanging out in Starfleet uniforms. Sweet, I'm here for it.
I think they're trolling us on this one because they've been talking about Starfleet Academy since like the early 90s.
I think they first started talking about Starfleet Academy when Star Trek got canceled the first time.
No,
in
you're right. Actually,
like, that was the next project
back in the 60s. So.
Was like, maybe we'll do Kirk at the Academy.
Yeah, they wanted to do a prequel series at one point. But yeah.
I just want the Academy with a whole bunch of new characters.
Yeah, no, totally. It'd be a great show.
Yeah, I'm here for Starfleet Academy.
Yeah. I also want a bunch of recognizable alien races and ones that we haven't seen yet there as well. That would be great.
What if they combine that and the Worf show, and they just have the actor who plays
And it's
Worf
Headmaster
trying to
Worf?
be. No, I was thinking like he's
That'd be
supposed to be a
amazing.
kid. Like he's supposed to be like a young adult.
Yeah.
They age him down.
Wait, are you saying Michael Dorn
Yes.
playing Worf as a child, actually a child,
Wait,
or is
yes.
this like a 21 Jump Street situation where it turns out that like some Romulans have it's tracking down Commander O? This is perfect. They know that there's a Romulan agent somewhere in Starfleet. They got to figure out who it is, so they have Worf go undercover as a little kid in order to try and track him down.
Yeah, I was thinking like Wet Hot American Summer style.
Maybe they'll bring Worf into the Section 31 show? Like, I don't know how that would work, but...
Tyler doesn't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't? Never mind.
You'll find out. But not today, because today we have to ask. What do we ask at the end? Is it just tribbles now? I don't have that note in front of me.
Do you ever? Because you ask
Best and worst
different questions every time. Best and worst character. I guess Riker maybe was the best. Yeah, let's go with Riker. And worst, I'm gonna go with whatever Whoopi Goldberg's character's name is. She just didn't do it for
she
me.
was your worst?
Guinan.
Yeah.
Really?
Why is that?
Because there's this person that had like a traumatic childhood and didn't have a bed, and she just keeps like edging them on. Like,
Interesting.
I don't think she was being helpful.
Can you take your headphones off for a second, Tyler? So when I was watching this episode, I actually commented on that to, I think it was either my wife or my cousin, whoever. Anyway, because I was like, I feel like it's weird because like Guinan is annoying me in this episode, but she's doing what Guinan does, which is like giving you good advice in a way that totally doesn't seem like she's giving you good advice. But when Whoopi does it, it works for me. When the child actor who was playing Whoopi did it didn't work for me at all. It made me like, I was just like, stop, leave. Like, why are you like this? And then I was like, oh wait, it's Guinan. That's exactly what Guinan does.
That's a good point.
But it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and put your headphones on, Tyler. Oh wait, you can't hear me. Go ahead and put your headphones on, Tyler. Anyway, that's why Picard had to murder everyone on the ship.
That's all of them except for the two on the bridge. Wait here until I return. Yes, sir.
What? Oh, Tyler's back. That didn't happen. It did once. Anyway, but anyway, I was about to say. Is that episode on the list?
It should be. Is
There's
that
an
the one
episode that could be summed up as it's the one we were talking about the other day.
One? Is it a Q episode?
No.
Okay. So it's not the same time that.
Anyway,
sorry,
Tyler. Was there a triple in this episode though? Was there? No, there wasn't. There are triples in like 3 episodes. I hate asking this question every time. I'm so tired of asking it.
I feel like it's
Tyler,
probably going to be really obvious when there is one.
The episode has triple in the name.
I've seen those.
It's going to be the last one we watch.
I get to pick the episode, so I'll make sure that happens.
There are 2 that I can think of that have a triple in them that don't have triple in the title.
There's a couple others.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that there's more than just the 2, but I don't know if I can keep asking each time. I'm going to lose my damn mind.
Yeah. I don't know if they're on this list, but yeah, never mind. We'll talk about it later.
The list is just going to have every episode of Star Trek on it, so don't worry about that. MC, final thoughts on this episode?
It's all right. It wasn't great. There's some really great episodes in season 6, so I'm hoping to get round to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when you're talking about TNG, like, there's so many great episodes that this doesn't even come close, you know? Like, there's some good moments in it, but it's pretty meh for me, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely meh.
Yeah.
Tyler, where did you end up with it?
So before I tell you what I thought, I'm going to tell you what the listeners, or at least the people that follow us on Twitter, thought.
Yeah.
I still haven't voted in that. Hang on.
Yeah, I actually messed up the poll, and I forgot to set the time for longer, so I think it only ran for like 12 hours.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah, we got 3 votes again. 66.7 say it was a good episode. And 33.3 say it was meh. No one said it was bad. And
I would have called this good personally.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't get a vote, but I would have.
I thought it was meh.
I would originally, I think before we rewatched it, I would have called this a bad episode, but I kind of enjoyed it this time around. You know,
I think we had this on the list as a bad episode.
Yeah.
But I actually like kind of enjoyed watching it for how ridiculous it was. But the whole time I'm sitting there going like, what is Tyler even going to do with this? Because like this episode, you keep picking the ones that are weird because we watched Naked Time and Naked Now, which are both like, look at our crew being crazy. Yeah. And this one is like, look at our crew being children and you don't know them. So
it sounds worse than it is.
I think I would have enjoyed this one more if I had more context for who the other 3 children are.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's going to be funny when we get further along in this show and Tyler starts recognizing characters and what their attitudes are like. And then he if he comes back and listens to these episodes, he's going to be like, oh, so that's what those guys were talking about.
Well, he'll have to come back and listen to these episodes as he uncovers the spoilers that we've talked about that he can go back and listen to.
That's going to be hard. I don't know when I'll go back and listen because I don't know what you said to know what to go back to listen for.
Yeah, once you've seen all of Star Trek, then you just start the show from the beginning again. I think that's it, right? Then it's list time?
I think so.
Yep.
Someday we'll have like a really refined format on this.
Someday is not today.
We got there with BASESF, I feel like, after like 2 years MC. We got there.
Oh, yeah, eventually.
Yeah, you guys got a pretty good thing going on over there.
All right.
It kind of has a rhythm.
Mm-hmm. So big list time?
Tyler. Big list time.
All right. So one thing that I thought this episode was missing was there's barely any data in it.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one.
So
there's like one scene with
I checked the spreadsheet. I searched it for the word data, and I found 3 episodes that have data in it. And so the smallest dice I have is 4-sided. I don't have a 3-sided dice. Does that exist? How would that look? Anyways.
I think they do.
I mean, you could just have repeating numbers, I guess, and have a 6-sided dice. But anyways.
You could do a D6, yeah. You roll a D6. And it's
yeah.
1 and 2
I didn't
is
think
1,
about
3 and
that
4
at first. So I went ahead and found a 4th episode that could possibly involve data. So we've got data lore. I assume that's how it's supposed to be said because it's the 2 words as one. Mm-hmm. Data's day and a fistful of datas, which I know is the next chronological episode. And I was very tempted to pick it just because I knew that. But that's why I decided to do it up to a dice roll. So because I wanted it to be random.
What's the 4th one?
So the 4th one I picked is Catwalk. Data's got a cat. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
So let's see what we get. I rolled Catwalk. It doesn't have data in it at all. It's not even going to be TNG.
I don't know.
I'm so excited.
You are? You know what this one is?
Yeah, I do. Let's see. A 23-second trailer? Come on, give me something better than that.
Okay.
Nope, I got a 23-second trailer. All right. You ready?
I'm so ready.
Yep.
UPN Wednesday, when Enterprise is boarded by aliens.
Get the hell off my ship!
I'm in command of this bridge.
All aboard are forced into hiding.
They murder the crews, take anything of value.
And the captain must make the most difficult decision of his career.
I'll destroy Enterprise.
Ooh, a new series.
It is a new series.
Scott Bakula.
Yeah.
That showed like nothing.
What do you mean? It told you exactly what the episode was.
Someone's going to destroy the Enterprise. That seems like that could be like every episode.
Most episodes. Most of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes.
So no data.
That was your first glimpse of Enterprise, though. Tell me everything that you noticed.
It was really dark. Can we watch it one more time?
Yes, we can.
It was so short. Like,
sure.
I was trying to figure out what was happening.
Go back to the beginning. There we go.
UPN Wednesday, when Enterprise is boarded by aliens.
Get the hell off my ship!
I'm in command of this bridge.
All aboard are forced into hiding.
They murder the crews, take anything of value.
And the captain must make the most difficult decision of his career.
I'll destroy Enterprise.
Okay. So the captain's going to destroy the Enterprise. I missed like who was going to destroy it.
Scott Bakula.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you know Scott Bakula, Tyler?
Nope.
No frame of reference for Scott Bakula?
Nope. I don't know if that's an actor or a character.
Heard of a show called Quantum Leap?
I've never watched it, but I've heard of it.
Okay. All right. You'll probably recognize him once you see him in like more light, slightly more light.
Yeah.
You'll probably be like, oh, I've seen that guy.
All right. So new series. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Captain's going to destroy the ship. That's the only thing you can.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there's a cat in this episode, but I don't think so.
There's
spoilers.
Not a cat. There's definitely
I don't want to
not a
get your
cat.
hopes up, Tyler. Sorry.
No.
There
They shoot
is
a cat out of a cannon.
there is a dog.
Porthos?
Yeah,
Maybe?
I think probably.
Porthos.
Maybe I don't know
Can
about
I
this
can I
episode.
tell Tyler something that's going to make him a little sad about his choice?
Sure.
There's I believe a cat in every other episode that was on your list for today.
I think you're right.
Yeah. We'll definitely get back to the Data episodes after this one.
Someday.
I think.
We will.
I don't know. Unless this one makes me want to watch something else.
Death Wish.
I'm excited for this one. Yeah.
Sorry.
Death Wish is just going to be a pending one for any time this episode. I'm like, well, maybe Death Wish this time.
Sorry.
Cool.
After he sees the intro to Enterprise, I was thinking.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited.
Is this the one that has lyrics? Because I know there's one that has lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Enterprise.
I have things to say about that, but that's next episode, so I'll...
We should probably like record an hour earlier next week so that we have an extra hour just to talk about the theme song for Enterprise. Maybe just release a separate episode just on the theme song and then also an episode about the show.
That's going to be a discussion, that's all I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, strap in.
But you said that Star Trek doesn't have seatbelts, so...
Well, it's metaphorical seatbelts,
You know what?
you know?
I'm nearly certain that Enterprise actually has seatbelts.
Yeah, it
Nice.
does have
That's
seatbelts.
So we're good.
They got rid of them at some point.
Yeah. I'm excited for us to talk about this episode. I'm not sure if I'm excited to go watch it or not, but
yeah.
This episode actually came up because of me listening to another podcast where they mentioned it.
Really?
So I like that's what made me be like, oh yeah, that one should be on the list. So I've been like had it in the back of my mind that I've wanted to watch it again for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So hey, now I have the reason. And so do you, listeners, and you can go watch it right after you finish listening to this episode, which will end after Tyler does the plugs.
So you can listen to more of MC and Troy on the best animated shows ever so far, where they watch, rank, and review every cartoon ever so far based on the first 3 episodes. They're doing Rocket Power right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Episode 2 of that comes out the same day as this, so go listen to it. Probably listen to the first one first. But anyways, you can find more of Erik's work on Epic Fails of History. That's Epic with a K, where he talks about humanity's greatest failures and what we can learn from them. You can find most to all of us on Podcasters Assemble. We're talking about James Bond, and you can contribute.
You've been on an episode?
I haven't.
You were on...
I've only seen one James Bond episode. One James Bond movie, so
yeah,
and that's coming up.
Best submit for that one.
Oh well. What's the next one people can submit for?
On oh wait, no, Diamonds are forever, and then
Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah, Diamonds Are Forever, and then Live and Let Die.
Are any of you the same age as me? So that was your prom theme.
I'm a year younger than you, but it wasn't my prom theme.
I was class of 2007, so our prom theme
2008.
was Diamonds Are Forever because 007. So,
okay.
your prom theme was like betrayal and death then for 006. So like Sean Bean's head getting cut off or something.
That sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure my prom theme was Crank That Soldier Boy, but
Oh God, I'm glad I'm a year older than you.
I don't remember what mine was.
Mine was 2005, and I don't think we had a theme.
Wait, are we 2005,
2006,
2007, 2008?
Tyler's 2008?
Wow.
Yep.
Well done, us.
Okay.
That's
I
funny.
didn't realize that.
Anyways,
That's cool.
Yeah, you can use that information probably to hack into our bank accounts. But anyways, You can find links to everything I just mentioned, including our bank accounts, in the show notes, as well as links to everyone's social media and a link to our Discord channel where you can chat with us about Star Trek and stuff.
Hey, join our Discord channel. Like, everybody's sitting at home right now. I mean, everybody's working very hard at home right now, but also just sitting at home. Join Discord, man. Like, even if you've never used Discord before, it's a weird program. It's a silly place, but come hang out on our Discord channel. We could talk about Star Trek or James Bond or video games or just like toast, whatever. I don't know.
I mean, we'll talk to you. I spend way too much time on Discord, it turns out, you know?
You play Animal Crossing? We always share our turnip prices, so...
Yeah, man.
Incentive.
Come get them bells.
Yeah. Our friend Scott just made 6 million bells last week. Don't you want to be like Scott?
Y'all, I made 120,000 bells this week.
Oh.
That was it.
Wow.
So I sold them for like 10 more bells than I paid for them for. It was painful.
So...
Because we forgot about it on the good day, so we had to deal with it this afternoon. I think Becky is still up there right now trying to find somebody she can sell them to for a better price.
I refuse to play Animal Crossing. Sorry, guys. But my stepson is obsessed with it, and he's playing as me. He's playing on my account. So if you see me on there, it's not me. It's him.
If he wants some turnip prices, he should join the Discord.
I don't want him on the Discord.
I'm also not playing, but it's because I got burnt out on New Leaf.
Oh, yeah.
And also because you can't put Minecraft down.
I missed the boat on Animal Crossing.
It's true.
I missed the boat, and it feels weird to jump on it now, you know? Like, I didn't play it when it was on, 64? Is that...
in Japan.
GameCube. Yeah.
It was in Japan. It was on 64.
That's right, yeah. But...
Oh, hey, can I do a random shout out since we're talking about Animal Crossing?
Sure.
There's a podcast called Anime at the Gates, which is hosted by a couple guys that MC and I actually both used to know while we lived in Portland, where they just watched like a bunch of anime. They have a big sentient spinner wheel thing that has every anime show on it, and they spin it every episode to figure out what they're going to watch. But the reason
Did you just say it was sentient?
Yeah, the reason I bring it up in relationship to Animal Crossing is because they just watched the Animal Crossing movie, which there is only a fan dub of. There's no official dub, but it's like just a weird little cutesy anime movie about Animal Crossing, and it actually sounded kind of fun. Cool. So like after hearing them talk about it, I might have to. But anyway, once you listen to everything on the Probably Work Network, then go listen to Anime at the Gates and tell them that we sent you.
Troy, how do we end it?
I think you were just asking me a question, but my internet cut out right when you said it. So I don't know what to say.
I ask you how we end the podcast.
Oh, well, there's some shit happening outside, so we've got to escape into the space between the walls in order to hide. So we're going to beam into the space between the walls now. 4 to beam out.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Ooh, somebody just opened my door. That was creepy.
Yeah. Wow.
This is why we need teleporters. So MC could just send us bacon.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
@ProbablyWork for more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.